This evening, everyone, to our city council meeting this September 16th. Madam Clerk, could you please read the roll?
Mr. Bozen?
Here.
Mr. Nichols?
Here.
Ms. Creighton-Smith?
Here.
Mr. Childs?
Here.
Mr. Simon?
Here.
Ms. Wilder?
Here.
Mr. Foyce?
Here.
All right, would you please join me in a moment of silence? All right, thank you. Please join me in the pledge, which will be led by Ward 5 Mayor Pro Tem Ray Foyce.
Please join me in the pledge. I Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
I'd like to make a motion for the approval of the agenda as proposed, as well as the approval of the minutes of the September 3rd, 2024 regular council session and the September 11th, 2024 special session as proposed.
Second.
Second, that motion has been made with a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, thank you. The first up on the, right before oral presentations, I have a special presentation, and I would like for Mr. Paul Hudding to join me up front.
What'd you get for sitting up here?
Yes.
This is a good day that we get to acknowledge Mr. Paul Hudding, but it's a sad day, or sad in a couple weeks, that Paul is leaving the city of Waterloo. For those of you that know Paul Hudding, he has been one of the constant forces for making positive things happen within the city of Waterloo. He's been our Director of Leisure Services for a long time, 1999. And you know, the thing about it is that in any type of leadership, there are things that happen, there are things that change. And a lot of us, we can't be resistant to change. And Paul has been at the forefront of making sure that we continue to implement change, making sure that we continue to offer incredible recreational opportunities to all of our citizens, especially to our young people here within the city of Waterloo. I'm pretty sure if you ask council members and other department heads, they'll tell you Paul is also a person that you can call on to get advice about what's happening. And all of those things are incredible. All of those things are great. But this is a decent human being that is standing right next to me. He works tirelessly for so many people in this community. And a lot of people may not know him, but know that he's making a difference every day. And so I just want to say it has been an honor to work alongside Paul Hudding for my 8 years, 9 months, 16 days, and 17 hours and 30 minutes, but even before then on city council. And so, Paul, I just want to say congratulations to all that you've done for the city of Waterloo, for the state of Iowa. And I am here to present you with an appreciation award presented to Paul Hudding in appreciation of your service, dedication, and loyalty in serving the citizens of Waterloo as Director of Leisure Services from July 1980 to September 2024. So can we all please give a round of applause for Paul? And You know, I also want to say before I turn the mic over to Paul, Paul was going to leave here a couple years ago, right? But I told him that you can't go till we see the start of Gates Park, see the start of Burns Park. And what people don't know, a lot of the dollars that was raised for those projects came from outside of the city as well. So I've seen this man go everywhere across the state to try to raise dollars for these incredible projects. And so, Paul, would you say a couple words for us?
Thank you, Mayor. It's been an honor to serve for you and for the citizens of Waterloo. I want to thank a mayor from the past. Gentleman by the name of Leo Ruff took a chance on an unemployed boat salesman in 1980. And I wasn't leisure services director then. I was landscape foreman, and I was pretty good at pulling weeds in flower beds. So want to thank you and all the mayors in between. My team, I've got a great team. They'll keep up the good work, I'm sure. I couldn't have done anything without them. And then the council and many other city councils, and most of all the citizens of Waterloo for putting the faith in me and allowing me to have a lot of fun developing some cool stuff over the years here. So thank you very much. I appreciate it, and thank you all.
Thank you.
All right. It is now time for public comments, your opportunity to address the mayor, city council, and staff on non-agenda related items. Please come to the podium, state your name and address for the record, and let us know your thoughts.
Aaron Stacy Roberts, 411 Alma Street. And I'm here again, basically based on that machine, and I haven't been able to speak to you directly about it, but that machine is the one that was able to set up, act out in this ongoing cover-up of case 9914612, and it involves Waterloo Police as well as the Des Moines Police and Urbandale Police. I have been here several times and got no response on why I would think that there was a homicide involved with my father. I'm going to try to get to the motive. One of the motives during that time would have been my father and mother were separated. My brother Reed at the time was living at 1232 Beach. My father cut off all funds to my mother, which pissed Reed off because then he had to pay all the bills. That was one thing, was the motivator, was the finances. Another thing, I can go back to about 11 years old, 12 years old, and I was out back working on a Honda Trail 70 that I had. My brother, being who he was 5 years older, always a bully, and bullying me, had no problem with it. I broke him of it later on in life, but he has a subtle way of doing it now through my son, being an informant, and they've been allowed to, I want to say, work off their time by keeping my son brainwashed. It's been going on for years. On this particular day, when I was out there working on my trail bike, my brother came out and he told me to stand up, and I did, and he pushed me down. And I stood up again, and he pushed me down again, and I said, Reed, quit pushing me down. Little did he know my father had pulled up in the driveway. He came through the garage, and by the time I looked up, I kept looking until Daddy got close enough. When he turned around and Reed realized my dad was there, he launched Reed's monkey ass into the alley and told him, your brother is 5 years older than you, and leave him alone and quit bullying him like that. So, I mean, you scrounge your face up when I say the A word, but what I want to go back to is Mohawk Street. The motive would have been when he came in there to push my father back. That's why he was pushed into that window. The reason I'm saying this is because when I had my father funeral services, the first thing I told Aaron Sanders was to have my father's hair cut. When I went for the final viewing, his hair had not been cut. And when I asked him, why didn't you have my father's haircut, have Pep come cut my father's hair? He said, it's whatever it was, that's the way he's been wearing it. I said, that's not the way he's been wearing it. And I let that go. But as time went on, and when he didn't remember how my father's funeral was paid for, I know that there's something going on there. Another person I want to bring into this, and I'm going to have to talk more on her, Yolanda Scott, his mother. You can check your books and see that she had a very hellacious drug problem, and the police weaponized her against me by way of my son. You need to look into what I'm telling you.
All right, thank you.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and members of the council. I'm Margaret Moy. I'm the executive director at the Grout Museum, and I'd like to take this opportunity to let you and our community know about an exciting project that we have at the Grout. So back in May, you may have seen an article in the Courier from Melody Parker about the history of a World War II flag. This particular flag was donated to the Grout in 1960 by General Howard Rouse, former commander of the 1st Battalion of our local 133rd Infantry Regiment, our very own Ironman Battalion. Research has led us to believe that this flag was actually the very first American flag that was carried onto European soil by an American military unit for World War II. So the first 133rd landed in Belfast, Northern Ireland in January of 1942. It was then under the command of Colonel Rouse. And it was pictured actually that whole landing with our boys, with the flag present, was in a Life magazine article. So we were able to use some of that in our research. Rouse then aged out at 55 and was assigned to desk duty in Ireland and England until his retirement. But it's a military tradition for the commanders to receive the unit's flag, or colors, excuse me, as a gift upon retirement. And in this case, that gift was the first American flag carried onto European soil. Because it's 90 years old, it's in really, really great condition, but there are some conservation needs that we have for it. So it needs to be properly cleaned. The creases need to be reduced to protect the fabric's integrity, and it needs to be mounted with padding on a pressure frame mount. So that total cost of the work is right around $10,000. We're pursuing a grant through the National Society of the Daughters of the American Revolution. Our local DAR chapter is already sponsoring this project, so the last step of this process is to fundraise for the one-to-one match that's required for the grant, and we are within $500 of our goal. Thanks to the generous support of several local veterans organizations and private donors, $500 is all we need before October 1st. So I wanted to share this as an opportunity for our community to know that you can be part of this project. If you're interested in doing that, you can visit our website online, groutmuseumdistrict.org/donate. In the Dropbox, just make sure you click on the Ironman Battalion Flag Project. That will get your dollars to the right project. You can also stop by the museum from Tuesday through Saturday from 10 to 5 if you'd like to contribute to that project. If we do manage to raise more than that $500 needed, extra funds will go toward the future exhibit of that flag. Or if we don't get that grant, then it will still go toward the conservation of the flag. So thank you very much for the opportunity to share this, and have a wonderful evening.
Thank you.
Hello, City Council. My name is Hector Salamanca Arroyo. I'm with the Boys and Girls Club of the Cedar Valley. I'm coming here today to talk about and identify what the best way for us to get the support from the City Council. As a local nonprofit, the Boys and Girls Club of the Cedar Valley, once known as the Boys and Girls Club of Waterloo, was founded in 1967 with the spearheading of several local business leaders and a young man named Sam Waltower, who's also a veteran who served in World War II. As a Boys and Girls Club, we have served roughly around 1,000 members each year here in the local community, along with the community in Evansdale and the Cedar Valley. And what we're looking for is to get more of a support from the City Council, from the city, in order for us to continue providing the great resources we do for the students. When it comes to the City of Waterloo, currently we serve about 10% of the entire student population for the district. Additionally, when it comes to busing, when busing is an issue, as it has been in the past couple of weeks, the Boys and Girls Club steps in with our fleet of vehicles to make sure that the kids come to the club. Currently, that fleet of vehicles is about 20 years old, with the oldest one being as old as a high school teenager. Additionally, the club does not have a membership fee, so we are one of the only few organizations locally that doesn't charge for after-school programming, nor for any of our visits, any of our field trips, any of our career development. With me, you'll see Bailey and George, who also work at the Boys and Girls Club. And with these fine gentlemen and with the club team, we've been working hard in making sure that our Waterloo members have the ability to stay engaged and have the ability to serve some of the visions that's outlined within the City of Waterloo's Community Vision Plan. As an organization, I can tell you that we're working tirelessly to eliminate the barriers that we see across the City of Waterloo with our club kids, and we're really looking to identify how best can the City of Waterloo help move us forward. With a fun historical fact that the City of Waterloo did, in partnership with the Waterloo Police Department, help create the club. So just putting that on the back burner for all of you, but just so you know, the club, the City of Waterloo, the Waterloo Police Department, there's a proud history and a proud heritage for our organization specifically within the City of Waterloo, and we'd love nothing more than to continue that partnership and further strengthen it. And just a quick shout out, we do have alumni here, City Council, and there are alumni across the city and across the state who continue to advocate for the Boys and Girls Club. So thank you all, and thank you for your time, and looking forward to connecting with someone or with many folks to get the club going. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mike Cruzy, 3450 Independence Avenue, Waterloo, last property in Waterloo proper. I'm here because I call, I text, I'm worried about I try to keep care of my property, but the ditch is overflowing with weeds. I can't mow it anymore. I got trees hanging over the highway. I call about that and they say it's sewer department, it's the road department, it's, oh, that's a state highway. No, it's in town. So I've been calling and not getting any response, no calls back. I pay way too much for taxes. I don't get anything, amenities from the city. I don't get water, sewer, but I'm the, what do they call me? The special person, because I get garbage pickup and I pay for that. But they call me a special person. What else I have on here? Oh, and they do a great job cleaning the highway. The county or state comes in, turns around in my driveway. The city comes up, turns around in my driveway in the wintertime. What that allows me to do is buy a load of gravel every spring. They do a wonderful job, but I'm just saying, that's what I get. I get garbage pickup that I pay for. I get very good snow removal. Oh, yes. Yeah, I called about the trees if they're on the, what do you call that? The parking, or if they're on my property. Well, if it's hanging over the road, that's not my problem. But it's fallen on, this actually started in '08 when we had the floods. So I quit calling then for a couple years. So that's what I'm here for. And I pay $52.12 in taxes a year. I get nothing from the city. I don't have kids in school. That's what I'm here for. So thank you for listening.
Tara, could you get his name and number? Thank you. Is there anyone else that would like to address the council on non-agenda items?
My name is Larry Stummy, Pastor Larry Stummy. I'm a pastor of St. Paul Lutheran Church in Cedar Falls. I live at the corner of Hammond and Lois Lane. Since May 15th in 2023, Pastor Blackwell, Michael Blackwell, and myself, both of us who have a long history of active in the civil rights movement. I was with Martin Luther King in 1965 in Selma, Alabama, following the Bloody Sunday, and I've been involved with that movement much, and Pastor Michael Blackwell has also been active as he's been an emeritus professor at UNI, where he was active in representing especially the black students and improving the life of the black students at UNI. We were concerned after the 24/7 report came about Waterloo being called the worst city for blacks to live in. We made it the effort to say we should try to make this the best city for blacks to live in. And in order to do that, we thought we could go to you, the city fathers, because it's your responsibility to make sure that the poor and the weak of this community are taken care of and provided for. And so on May 15th of last year, of 22, we started, it was almost every council meeting that we could, our health allowed, until earlier this year. During this time, I learned of a great project called the Waterloo 2030. This is a product that was developed by you, for you, by DeNova after that. It's a 43-page project that really answers many of the questions we have. And it spends out in detail about spending $10 million to set aside and hiring a director by 2022 and paying that director as much as $150,000 so you got the best. And for some reason or other, this 2030 project has not come to fruition. And the question we have is why? Could you set up a time to speak to the citizens of this community of why you didn't do this and what are you doing to make Waterloo the best city for blacks to live in? Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Miranda Canfield, 2103 Westview Avenue, and I'm here today to talk to you about Dot Day. I work in the youth department at the Waterloo Public Library, and this week is a very exciting week because I am installing thousands of student-created dots in our library. The Dot was written by New York Times best-selling author Peter Reynolds, and Dot Day was actually created by a local educator. This book is about a student and a teacher. The student doesn't feel very creative, and the teacher encourages that student to just make a dot, just start. And I think we can all agree that's a very applicable lesson for all of us, but it's a nearly perfect beginning of the school year lesson for art educators, and art educators all over the city
Sorry, I'm having a hard time hearing what the speaker at the podium is saying because somebody is in the back talking. Could you please take your comments outside so we can let our speaker finish her presentation?
Thank you. You'll see so many brightly colored dots created by school children from K to 12 in the library. This weekend will be our kickoff event. The gallery show opening will be at 9 o'clock as we open at the Waterloo Public Library. And then we have a public story time and truly a celebration of the downtown district at the farmers market. And I just wanted to note that this was a Herculean effort by our art teachers in the Waterloo Public School District. So I want to celebrate that we live in a community that values the creativity of our youngest. And I also wanted to share just a little bit of the joy that staff members feel when our little artists are coming in. Some of you went to our grand opening on Friday of our new youth department, and the night before, I was the staff member in charge of furiously tidying, and I had some young patrons in, and I said, "Hey, will you build a park for me at the Lego table?" And they were like, "What are you offering?" And I said, "Starburst." So I had these little engineers making us a beautiful park, and I just, as a making conversation, asked, "Oh, what school do you go to?" And they told me, and I said, "I have your dots on my desk. Tell me about them." And the look on their face, if I could bottle up that kid joy and take it with me through the slogs of being a grown-up, I would. But I just encourage all the grown-ups in this room to stop by, even if you don't have a student. My colleagues are going to talk more about Saturday, but art is for everyone, and kid art is the best. So, oh.
Thank you.
Hi, I am Jessica Young, 318 West 3rd Street. And some of you know, I'm not great at public speaking, so I wrote it all down. So I'm not going to be looking at you as much. I am here representing the Waterloo Urban Farmers Market. And like Miranda talked about, we're having a celebration this Saturday from 8 to noon. Some of the stuff she already talked about a little bit, but I'm just going to read through it. International Dot Day is a celebration of creativity, courage, and collaboration based on the children's book called The Dot by Peter H. Reynolds. And from their website, I took a quote that I really think is great. Imagine the power and potential of millions of people around the world connecting, collaborating, creating, and celebrating all that creativity inspires and invites. International Dot Day was started by teacher and Waterloo resident Terry Shea 15 years ago. This year, the participant count has surpassed 30 million people worldwide. I just think that is amazing, and that really speaks to the purpose of this, you know, collaborating, connecting. I think that Dot Day at the Market is a great example of what the day means. This celebration, our celebration, is a collaboration between organizations and businesses, including the Waterloo Urban Farmers Market, the Waterloo Public Library, Waterloo Schools, Waterloo Center for the Arts, a lot of Waterloos in here, Waterloo Robotics Team, Cedar Valley Sportsplex, Hoop Dreams with B, Pretty Good Co., Waterloo Bicycle Works, and other downtown businesses. The event is free and open to all. We'll have lots of activities going on. Like I said, 8 to noon. You can start at the library for their opening at 9, the exhibit opening, and then as you walk from the library to the market, there's going to be the story. It's the story walk, so it's a large version of the story, then you can read it. Once you get to the market, there will be red dot specials from participating vendors. The author, this is huge right now, this part. The author of the Dot, Peter H. Reynolds, will be in attendance. So he's going to be here, which is amazing. Like she said, he's written lots of books, and he's going to be reading the Dot. And then we'll also have a reading in Spanish and in French by the East High Spanish teacher and the West High French teacher. That will start at 10:30. Mr. Reynolds will also be signing books, so if you have one of his books, you can bring it down. The publisher also donated some books, so people will have a chance to, if they don't have the book, to get the book there free. And then there's, lots of other things.
So 8 to 12 on this Saturday at the Expo for the Urban Farmers Market.
Yep.
All right,
Yes,
thank
in
you.
Expo Plaza. Yes, thank
Yep.
you.
I want to do a PS that you can see.
PS, not from the podium, but yeah, but we're breaking law. No, you can't, because, so what we'll do, because last year, we did Dot Day. And the gentleman, unfortunately, had passed away during then. I know Tara would be so happy to feature that again, and especially in honor of the gentleman. That was a local gentleman that had passed away that started this international movement. So I'm pretty sure if you talk to Tara, she may be able to work with you on getting that done. So how about that? That's even better. Yeah. All right. Thank you.
Yes.
All right. Is there anyone else that would like to address the council and Mayor?
I'll make it quick, I promise. Nick Hedrick, 207 Highland Boulevard. Thank you, Mayor, Council, and Department heads. I just want to talk about Main Street Waterloo's dinner across the bridge. Indulgent and enchanting evening filled with delectable cuisine, lively entertainment, and the shimmering glow of lights, all set against the picturesque backdrop of downtown Waterloo. The memorable occasion isn't just about enjoying a fabulous night out, it's also an opportunity to support a cause close to our hearts. Dinner Across the Bridge is a fundraising initiative aimed at sustaining Main Street Waterloo's ongoing efforts to enhance the vitality of our beloved downtown. A lot of our funding for Main Street Waterloo is from fundraising and our events. The city of Waterloo is very gracious in giving us some as well. So this is one of our newest initiatives that we're doing. It's going to be across the 4th Street Bridge. It was going to be about across Park Avenue, but delays, which is fine. We shifted and went to 4th Street to see the amazing River Lights experience, and then we have a couple surprises that night as well. So we enjoy having this type of stuff in downtown and invite everybody to come out. Tickets end, sale ends Friday, September 20th. Tickets are $75. Tables are $400. The event is Saturday, September 28th. Doors open, or gates rather, at 4:30. And just a quick thank you to our sponsors, IBEW Local Union 288, Peterson Contractors, Tyson, and Hy-Vee. Thank you.
All right, thank you. They can go to Main Street, Waterloo, for more information.
Yes, thank you.
Forrest Dillevue, 1725 Huntington Road. After the news this morning about the sale of the all-in grocery store, I started receiving phone calls, received them up until the time I left this evening. And the question that I was asked first is, how much money has the city of Waterloo taxpayers invested in the all-in? I told them, to the best of my knowledge, it's $2,135,000. They said, will this money be coming back to the city if they sell it? And I told them, to the best of my knowledge, all the money they received was grants, so they will not be paid back. If you have anything more to report, I would urge you to get a press release or something and let the citizens know. Thank you kindly.
All right, thank you, Mr. Dillevue.
Todd Oberdahl, 124 Amity Drive. I want to follow up on the previous speaker here, the news of the grocery store closing after years of stalling on getting the groundbreaking. We had many press conferences over the years and photo ops that happened, but we didn't seem to have very many days with positive cash flow at that location, with millions of dollars of taxpayer money going into that project. There were people that raised concerns throughout the years over the terms of the agreement and the validity of those terms in compliance with state code. We were told to just be quiet and not be negative because this was going to be a success. Within less than a year, we have the store being closed, and it had been closed since the beginning of the month because that was going to be a temporary closing. They'd be right back up and in business, and everything's okay. Now we get an announcement today from the developer who has very close relationships with members of this city government that made the decision to get millions of dollars to put into this grocery store. And in his closing statement, he says, do not listen to those who are negative. What have they done in the community? Well, the people that have stood up at this podium and raised concerns about the grocery store, raised concerns about the convention center, raised concerns about recycling not taking place years ago and today. They've been right a lot, and they've done a lot for this community, and not just bowing down to whatever self-ordained rulers would have us do with our money. We have a right to say what happens to our tax money. The previous speaker spoke about using resources to improve the lives of people in Waterloo. Well, when these resources are being diverted in trickle-up economics, then the people of this city of all colors are not being served. The citizens of Waterloo, having put up the amount of money that they have, deserve, and if they're not legally entitled, they're certainly morally entitled, they deserve to have an absolute 100% auditing and inventory and report on where every dime of taxpayer money went. Where did it go? We've just recently had a gentleman down in Vinton that was setting up shell corporations himself and having hospital money go to those shell corporations to do work that was never performed. We need an auditing to make sure that every single dime was spent legitimately on this. This is taxpayer money, and the taxpayers deserve to have this money come back to them, and the city should fight for that, for the good of all citizens. Thank you.
Thank you. please come to the podium, state your name and address for the record, and let us know your thoughts.
Hi, my name is Denise Dreas, and I live on West 8th Street, Lock area. Mr. Hart, I would like to thank you for every single thing that you have done over there. No more water. So thank you for doing what you said you were going to do.
Thank you. Thank you. Wow. I'm not used to.
All right.
Breathe it in.
Yeah, and Randy to engineering and their entire staff, and to finance for helping put the long-range vision for the challenges they've had in the neighborhood. So you folks get the shout out, and anybody else that I may have missed, the entire team. So thank you so much for helping that, and wow, and the council. It's a lot of money we voted for, so thank the council as well. So, all right. Is there anyone else that would like to make comment on non-agenda related items?
So, Latanya Graves, 607 East Donald Street, Waterloo, Iowa, 50703. How about that? I just wanted to say that I want to thank Rodney and the developers for committing to build the grocery store. I know it was a long time coming and there were many setbacks, but as the article stated, someone else is buying it and it's still going to be a grocery store, which is much needed in that area. And I was talking to one of my friends earlier, and I said, you know, we don't have anything over here. I have to go all the way to Walmart. And so just for a stick of butter or some eggs. And so I'm so happy that something else is that the grocery store is still going to be there and someone else is taking over. So it's much needed. Thank the developers. Thank you, council.
All right, thank you. Is there anyone else that would like to communicate with the council and mayor on non-agenda related items? Going a second time. Council.
Mr. Mayor, I did
Yes,
want
ma'am.
to provide some updates. I met with the Veterans Hall, Memorial Hall. I'm a commission. I'm probably messing it up. I'm so tired. But anyway, they have some exciting things coming up that I wanted to share. They have an October 25th event in which they're going to unveil flag that was obtained from another set of brothers that died in the war. A couple or twins that we didn't know about that also suffered the same fate that the Sullivan brothers. So I'm excited to share that, and that the community knows about that as well. This weekend they had the Vietnam Memorial 24-hour vigil that they did as well. And so the commission has, the Veterans Memorial Hall have a lot to offer. And I'm hoping that somehow we can make that part of the initiative that we promote on behalf of the city's historical significance, because they have a host of artifacts that you just wouldn't believe if you just have to go and see for yourself, and then see the diaries. It's just crazy, the amount of history that they have. So I'm hoping that we can, maybe, Mayor, the next meeting we can go, you can go and hear their vision and maybe help shape that vision that they have too. And then hopefully get Experience Waterloo on board to help formulate their plan as well, just as I'm pushing for the triangle and the historic significance of East 4th Street. I want to push for this because we have so much potential in this city. We're doing great things, but there's greater things coming forth. So just wanted to share that.
All right. Thank you for your service too. And I know we've had Bridget and other team members that have been in dialogue and communications to making sure that we can be more responsible to some of the needs that they have there as well. And thank you for being the conduit for making that happen, and that collaboration as well. So I want to thank you for all your help in that. Council, anything else?
Mr. Mayor?
Mr. Childs.
Thank you, Mayor. Just a few things. So firstly, thank you for those that came to my ward meeting. I'm not going to look up. My eyes are dilated right now, so that's why I'm wearing the X-Man glasses. So I'm just going to look down.
Stevie
So
Wonder down.
apologies for that I'm not looking at you guys. So first thing, thank you for coming. Please, if you have any questions regarding Ward 1, you just want to talk about what's happening in the city, you have any interest in what's going on, you just want to have a conversation, please, last Saturday of the month, Ridgeway, come grab some coffee at Sidecar and come chat with me. I'm just usually sitting there at a table. It's just my open office hours for you to come and have a conversation with your council member, Ward 1. So please, I'd love to see you there. Secondly, we had so many great things today, some presentations about the arts. And I just want to give I'm a professor of music at Hawkeye Community College, and I'm very proud of that. And something we should be proud of is the economic impact of the arts in the Cedar Valley is $100 million a year, second in the state. So we have a larger impact from the arts than anywhere except Des Moines in the state of Iowa. And we should be very proud of that. And we should continue to push forward and utilize the strengths we're building, like our new fiber system, to show that to the world. So thank you to those that are contributing in the arts. Keep going. Know that we're doing very well here in this city and this Cedar Valley. We can continue to push that forward.
All right, thank you. Mr. Nichols, when he gets done talking.
Yep. So first off, this weekend there will be an emergency preparedness workshop put on by the Waterloo alumni of the chapter of the Delta Sigma Theta sorority. After you stop down by the Riverloop Expo Plaza in the morning, feel free to jump over to the Hawkeye Community College Adult Learning Center from 9:30 to 2 p.m. for the emergency preparedness workshop. And then also there will be a Ward 4 meeting at the Boys and Girls Club on Thursday the 19th at 6 p.m.
Anyone else?
Mr. Mayor?
Sir?
First off, I'd like to say, please go see John. I've had lunch with him. He's very pleasant to talk to, and he will answer your questions. So he's there. Trust me, he will show up. More importantly here too as well, not more importantly, but also, Noel, can you explain what the all-in grocers money that's been spent, is there still money to be brought back in either through taxation or anything like that? I get a lot of questions on that money some people think it was wasted. Was it totally wasted? Is it not wasted? What's your opinion as our economic development planner on that? Could you please clarify that for the people that have been asking questions, please?
This is Anderson with staff. I'm sorry, that's what we do at P&Z. Noel Anderson, Community Planning Development Director. Yeah, the city of Waterloo acquired and demolished just looking at the site, the former House of Hope building in that block. For those of you that are aware, we had been working with the House of Hope for their structure there for a number of years. At one point, we were actually going to swap them the sites where JSA fixed up the two buildings on East 2nd Street. So those buildings were going to be demolished, actually taken apart by a judge and built out in the county. That didn't move ahead. JSA fixed those up. House of Hope moved down to the Church Row area where they're doing another expansion there in the former Christensen Dental Office. So again, we helped them relocate from that area to help open up that area. That did cost the city $374,000 and $38,000 for demolition, so $392,000 for that project. That was definitely to help open up the All-In Grocers site. Those actions that actually had been going on before the All-In Grocers project came. As you may recall, there was a parking lot in that area that was a 30-stall parking lot. We actually moved that. Again, that had been discussed to open up a retail site on Franklin for Walnut Court. That cost $148,566. That was basically to build a new parking lot where it is on the other side of the road from Walnut Court and to open up the commercial site. That did move ahead because of the All-In Grocer site, but again, we've been discussing it for about 2 years ahead of that. The CVS lot acquisition, as you may recall, when the church and school were left that area, CVS came along, demolished all that, built the CVS, and then they created some outlots for redevelopment. The city did contribute a $400,000 grant to help pay for the $750,000 lot, so the other $350,000 was paid by the owners for the project in overall. There was an additional $500,000 grant to make the project happen. That was in 2021, so kind of in the midst or on the tail end of COVID. Prices had gone up for a lot of projects. At that time, they had requested it based on the increased value that they were putting into the site. Their original value of $2.5 million for the finished project did go up to $4.0 million in the minimum assessed value. So the value of the project went up, the size of the project went up as a result of that grant being given. And then there was also a $136,983 grant for debris. Previously, when demolitions were done, the city did not require the full foundations be removed. They actually went down, I think, 36 inches and had to break up the concrete so it would drain properly. We've actually changed our demolition requirements in the city of Waterloo for redevelopment sites so that all the foundations are taken out. That amount for that grant was specific to the amount of extra work to remove those former foundations from the church and school. Generally, when the city's working with a redevelopment project of our own, such as a brownfield site, we remove all those foundations. So we were treating that site the same as what we treat a site that we had developed ourselves. So basically, in summary, I would say the city has invested into the Franklin Street corridor. We invested $1.5 million in grant and acquisition funding, $1.036 million to the all-in owners for the project, $540,556 to other sites for the House of Hope and the Walnut Court project. There's a $2.53 million in total incentives that is usually out there being discussed. That includes the tax rebates. So again, a tax rebate in the city of Waterloo, when you do a project, you have to pay your taxes. Then we give a check back for the rebate portion. So there's little risk to the city because they have to pay their taxes first. With the rebates that are out there, they will receive about $933,250 in tax rebates back. That's an estimate because the levy rates will always change a little bit. From their first payments due, the city, the debt service levy will receive $33,856 and $24,703 into the TIF district. So the city is seeing revenue come back in from the site. You know, in terms of someone thinking that it should be paid back, I mean, the building is there. The project was built. They're obviously having some problems with the business portion of it, but the physical project was built as required by the development agreement.
So do they have to stop paying taxes?
They do not. They have to continue to pay taxes.
Have they paid any taxes to this date?
They are paid up to date.
They have made payments on, okay, when you say they, is that, who's the developer that's paying the taxes?
The ownership of All In Grocers.
And do we know who that is?
Rodney Anderson is the main person that we
But there's multiple people
I believe there is, yes.
in that LLC? Okay.
So once again, whether they're there or not, taxes still have to be paid on that building?
That is correct. You know, for some reason, they would stop paying taxes. Obviously, it can go to tax sale. They have loans against the property, so the financial institution would definitely pay the taxes before they'd lose it to tax sale at some point. So the city will get paid regardless through the tax process.
And do we know if there's new ownership going in there? Is the current LLC selling the property?
That is what they've announced.
They put out
is that they are working
a
to sell it.
statement this morning said that they're selling the business.
So the current owner of the LLC and All In Grocers is selling it to somebody else. So that new entity that's buying it, will they get the same tax incentives that All In Grocers got? Will they just continue it, or does it have to come back before the council and be approved?
The development
on
agreement
anything?
does allow for them to sell the project after it is built and completed, so it has been built and completed, so they can do that. The only document that you would probably see come back would be a transfer of rebates type document, and that is purely for the city to properly track it for auditing purposes and financial purposes.
And what is the deal that they've received? Is it how many years tax abatement? Do you have that number?
They have 10 years at 80% and an 11th year at 25%.
Okay. And so that will continue with the new
That is correct.
ownership.
But it doesn't start over though, correct? It's still on
it just
that
continues
time
from where
frame.
it's at.
Mm-hmm. And they've been paying taxes for how many years?
I'd have to go back and see. I know that they're at the $4 million amount. I want to say in 2023, or it might have been 2022. So they may have had paid one year of tax at full taxes. Remember, until they're up to their full value. So if the assessor goes out there on February 1st and the building was half built and they put a half value on it, they wouldn't get any rebates until it gets to the full $4 million. So they probably paid quite a bit in taxes because the rebates would not have been eligible until the $4 million amount. And again, I didn't look that up exactly, that if they reach that amount in 2022 or 2023.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to close the public comment.
Second.
Tomorrow's the Mayor's Fun Run. It is the 25th annual. Every fourth grader within the city of Waterloo will start at the Expo Plaza grounds, and then they will run a route through downtown Waterloo. If you have the opportunity to be downtown to cheer on the kids, we don't need you to run. But if you're there to cheer the young people on, that will be amazing for them to know that they're loved and they're supported and that we're rooting for them. 25 years ago, Mayor John Roof had started the Mayor's Fun Run, and it has continued on to this day. So excited for the young people in our community. So it starts tomorrow at 9:30 is the introductions and the comments, and then after that they'll start the run. So love to see folks there. But there's been a motion made with the second to close oral presentations. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Oral presentations closed.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve the consent agenda with the addition of item 1A1, bills payment for September 9th in the amount of $4,483,150.90. And for September 16th, that amount is $5,883,549.05. Thank you.
Second.
All right, that motion has been made with the second to approve the consent agenda. Madam Clerk, roll call vote.
Mr. Bozen?
Yes.
Mr. Nichols?
Yes.
Ms. Creighton-Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Childs?
Yes.
Mr. Simon?
Yes.
Ms. Wilder?
Yes.
Mr. Foyce?
Yes.
All right, thank you. All right, also, Mr. Tom Powers, I think I saw him back there. He is a continuation of an appointment. Well, no, it's a new appointment for the Board of Adjustments with the expiration date of September 6, 2029. So, Mr. Powers, we want to thank you so much for your commitment for the next 5 years with the Board of Adjustments. So we thank you so much. And also, do we have Jason Sandoval here? Not here, but he will be our next code enforcement officer starting tomorrow. So we wish him the best in that position as well. And so thank you, Council, for approving the consent agenda. Let's start with item number 1 on public hearings. Can we take 1 and 2 at the same time?
Sure.
All right, could someone do that, please?
Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Childs.
I move to receive, file, proof of publication and notice of public hearing, and that's for the reallocation of unspent proceeds of the General Obligation Bond Series 22B in an amount not to exceed $142,000, and the reallocation of unspent proceeds of the General Obligation Bond Series 2023A in an amount not to exceed $25,000.
Second.
That motion has been made with the second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The hearing is now open. Is there anyone that would like to comment on the reallocation of unspent bond funds? Going a second time.
Mr. Mayor.
Sir?
I move to close the hearing.
Second.
That motion has been made with the second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The hearing is now closed.
Mr. Mayor.
Sir?
I move to adopt a resolution instituting proceedings to take additional action in approving the reallocation of certain unspent proceeds of the General Obligation Bonds Series 2022B and Series 2023A of the City of Waterloo, Iowa.
Second.
That motion has been made with the second. Council questions? Madam Clerk, roll call vote.
Mr. Bozen?
Yes.
Mr. Nichols?
Yes.
Ms. Creighton-Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Childs?
Yes.
Mr. Simon?
Yes.
Ms. Wilder?
Yes.
Mr. Foyce?
Yes.
All right, thank you. We can take, we can't take both of these, can we, the sidewalks?
Sure. Let's do it.
All right, could someone take 3 and 4?
Mr. Mayor,
Sir?
I'd like to make a motion to receive and file proof of publication of notice of public hearing, and that's for the fiscal year 2025 Sidewalk Repair Assessment Program, Zone 4, contract number 1111, and also for a notice of property owners.
Second.
All right, that motion has been made with the second. I know some of you are here to talk about sidewalks. Just to let you know, we do have Umi Sase here that will, after you ask your question, will meet with you outside to kind of discuss so you can let her know what's happening. But please come to the podium, state your name and address for the record. If you have questions about the sidewalk assessment, we can hear you now, or Umi will be able to meet you outside in a few seconds right after we're done with this item. Is there anyone? Okay, okay, all right. What's your name, sir, so I can know? Hey, Mark. Hey, all right, thank you. All right. Yes, would you like to come up now, and then you can meet with Umi? You'll meet with her right there. So wait, let's finish first. Let us finish first, because council may not approve it. All right, so we have a couple people that are going to meet Umi outside right after this vote, and so close the hearing, someone?
Yep. Mr. Mayor?
Sir?
I'd like to make a motion to close the hearing and receive and file oral comments.
Second.
That motion has been made with a second. All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? The hearing is now closed.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to adopt a resolution confirming approval of plans, specifications, form of contract, et cetera, and authorizing to proceed.
Second.
That motion has been made with the second.
If you want, we can read these individually, or we can read all of them all at once, like you would do the normal resolution section.
I can read the next one for the
Yeah.
other one.
Do you want to read the?
Sorry about that. It's going to take longer doing it this way than it would the other way. So why don't we just go through the resolution and the motion, and we'll come back and finish up the other side. Does that work?
Okay.
Mrs. Folkley?
Whichever way you want to do it.
As long as it's legal.
All we're doing is reading motions. We're okay.
Yeah, all right. All right, so that's a resolution confirming approval of plan specifications, form of contract, and we have a second on that.
Second. Oh, sorry.
We'll do it again. You got it again. All right.
You ready to roll?
Yes, sir. All right, any questions, council? All right, Madam Clerk.
Mr. Bozen?
Yes.
Mr. Nichols?
Yes.
Ms. Creighton Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Childs?
Yes.
Mr. Simon?
Yes.
Ms. Wilder?
Yes.
Mr. Foyce?
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Mr. Mayor,
Sir,
I'd like to make a motion to receive, file, and instruct the city clerk to read bids.
Second.
the motion has been made with the second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
All right, we had one bid on this project. It was Brock Even Construction LLC of Jessup, Iowa. They provided 5% security. Their bid amount was $208,547.56. The engineer's estimate for this project was $265,744.04.
All right, thank you.
Mr. Mayor,
Sir,
I'd like to adopt a resolution approving award of bid to Brock Even Construction LLC of Jessup, Iowa, in the amount of $208,547.56, approving the contract bond and certificate of insurance in conjunction with the fiscal year 2025 sidewalk repair assessment program, contract number 1111, and authorizing the mayor and city clerk to execute said document.
Second.
that motion has been made with the second. Madam Clerk.
Mr. Bozen?
Yes.
Mr. Nichols?
Yes.
Ms. Creighton Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Childs?
Yes.
Mr. Simon?
Yes.
Ms. Wilder?
Yes.
Mr. Foyce?
Yes.
All right,
Mr. Mayor,
sir.
I'd like to make adopt a resolution. I'd like to make a motion adopting resolution adopting proposed resolution of necessity as proposed or amended.
Second.
That motion has been made with the second. Council question? Madam Clerk.
Mr. Bozen?
Yes.
Mr. Nichols?
Yes.
Ms. Creighton Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Childs?
Yes.
Mr. Simon?
Yes.
Ms. Wilder?
Yes.
Mr. Foyce?
Yes.
All right,
Mr. Mayor,
sir.
I'd like to make a motion adopting a resolution approving proposed construction of sidewalk improvements.
Second.
Motion's been made with the second. Madam Clerk.
Mr. Bozen?
Yes.
Mr. Nichols?
Yes.
Ms. Creighton Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Childs?
Yes.
Mr. Simon?
Yes.
Ms. Wilder?
Yes.
Mr. Foyce?
Yes.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor,
Sir.
I'd like to adopt a resolution to fix the value of lots.
Second.
The motion's been made with the second. Madam Clerk.
Mr. Bozen?
Yes.
Mr. Nichols?
Yes.
Ms. Creighton Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Childs?
Yes.
Mr. Simon?
Yes.
Ms. Wilder?
Yes.
Mr. Foyce?
Yes.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor,
Sir.
I'd like to adopt a resolution to adopt proposed plat and schedule of assessments and estimate of costs.
Second.
The motion has been made with the second. Madam Clerk.
Mr. Bozen?
Yes.
Mr. Nichols?
Yes.
Ms. Creighton Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Childs?
Yes.
Mr. Simon?
Yes.
Ms. Wilder?
Yes.
Mr. Foyce?
Yes.
All right, thank you. We will only take number 5 this time. And you all are okay to leave with Umi at this point. Thank you for your patience.
Mr. Mayor, I'll take number 5.
Yes, sir.
I'd like to make a motion to receive and file proof of publication of notice of public hearing for the sale and conveyance of city-owned property located northwest of 2765 Crossroads Boulevard to Grant Park LLC in the amount of $1, including a development and minimum assessment agreement.
Second.
The motion has been made with the second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The hearing is now open. Is there anyone that has questions about this item? Going a second time.
Mr. Mayor,
Sir?
I'd like to make a motion to close the hearing.
Second.
That motion has been made with the second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The hearing is closed.
All right. Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to adopt a resolution approving the sale and conveyance of city-owned property located northwest of 2765 Crossroads Boulevard to Grant Park LLC in the amount of $1 and authorizing the mayor and city clerk to execute said documents.
Second.
That motion has been made with the second. Council questions on this item?
Can I get clarification on where this is at exactly? I was trying to pull this up on the map.
Mr. Anderson?
I need landmarks. I apologize.
Noel Anderson, Community Planning and Development Director. So if you're aware of where the new building is going up at the former Long John Silver's site, this is the excess right-of-way, not behind that building, but behind Verizon and Aspen Dental to the southwest or northwest. In that area, the same owner owns both properties, but basically as part of his progress in getting some tenants for the new building he's building, he's going to have to put more parking back in this area. It's excess right away. We've gone through the state code provisions to go ahead and sell it, so we are adding it to the development agreement for the new project.
Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Any other questions, council? Madam Clerk?
Mr. Bozen?
Yes.
Mr. Nichols?
Yes.
Ms. Creighton Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Childs?
Yes.
Mr. Simon?
Yes.
Ms. Wilder?
Yes.
Mr. Foyce?
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to adopt a resolution approving an amendment to the development and minimum assessment agreement with Grant Park LLC and authorizing the mayor and city clerk to execute said document.
Second.
The motion has been made with the second. Madam Clerk?
Mr. Bozen?
Yes.
Mr. Nichols?
Yes.
Ms. Creighton Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Childs?
Yes.
Mr. Simon?
Yes.
Ms. Wilder?
Yes.
Mr. Foyce?
Excuse me, yes.
All right, thank you. Could someone take number 6, please? Anyone?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, ma'am.
I make a motion to receive and file proof of publication of notice of public hearing, and that is for a request by the city of Waterloo to vacate 8,708 square feet of East San Martin Drive right-of-way located northwest of 2765 Crossroads Boulevard.
Second.
That motion has been made with the second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The hearing is now open. Is there anyone that would like to comment on vacating 8,700 square feet?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, ma'am.
I make a motion to close the hearing.
Wait, let me see. Anyone out there? All right. We have a motion to close the hearing, and we have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The hearing is now closed with the approval of the Planning, Programming, and Zoning Commission.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, ma'am.
I make a motion to receive, file, and consider and pass for the first time an ordinance approving a request by the city of Waterloo to vacate approximately 8,700 square feet of city-owned right-of-way located northwest of 2765 Crossroads Boulevard, subject to a retention of a utility easement over and under and upon northwesternly 10 feet of the vacate area.
Second.
That motion has been made with the second. Council questions? Madam, yes,
It was 8,008.
8,708.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What did I say?
8,700.
8,708.
very good.
Thank you, Dave.
Thank you.
Square feet, that is.
Square feet of city-owned right-of-way property.
Madam Clerk?
Mr. Bozen?
Yes.
Mr. Nichols?
Yes.
Ms. Creighton Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Childs?
Yes.
Mr. Simon?
Yes.
Ms. Wilder?
Yes.
Mr. Foyce?
Yes.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, ma'am.
I make a motion to suspend the rules.
Second.
Motion been made with the second. Madam Clerk?
Mr. Bozen?
Yes.
Mr. Nichols?
Yes.
Ms. Creighton Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Childs?
Yes.
Mr. Simon?
Yes.
Ms. Wilder?
Yes.
Mr. Foyce?
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, ma'am.
I make a motion to receive, file, and consider and pass for the second and third times and adopt said ordinance.
Second.
The motion has been made with the second. Madam Clerk?
Mr. Bozen?
Yes.
Mr. Nichols?
Yes.
Ms. Creighton Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Childs?
Yes.
Mr. Simon?
Yes.
Ms. Wilder?
Yes.
Mr. Foyce?
Yes.
All right, thank you. Could someone take number 7, please?
Mr. Mayor,
Sir?
I'd like to make a motion to receive and file proof of publication of notice of public hearing, and that's for the sale and conveyance of city-owned property located near 919 Newell Street and 918 Newell Street in the amount of $5,000 for each property, and to approve a phased development agreement with Delatan Asset Acquisition LLC.
Second.
The motion has been made with the second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The hearing is now open. Is there anyone that would like to speak to this item on the agenda? Yes, ma'am.
Beverly Cosby, 315 Window Court. What's going up there?
Houses.
Houses. Okay. I'll come back.
Well, you can't come back on this item, you can't come back.
I have another question, but
If you,
I'll wait.
on this item?
Not on this item. I just wanted to know what was going up there, but I have another question.
Turn around and look behind you.
Hi, I'm Odell Salas. I represent Delatan Asset Acquisition. We're putting affordable housing up. Trying to keep in plan with our 2030 plan that we have here to build more affordable housing in the northeast side community so that we can uplift the community. We're doing a kind of a dedication. We're calling it Porter's Village, in line with the founders of the area of the KBBG radio station, which is right adjacent to it. And so that's what's going up there. It's going to be a mixed development.
Single-family houses or
It's going to be a little bit of both. It's going to be mixed. We have the designs and site maps and everything available. If you need to see that, just get in touch with me, and then I.
Yeah, speaking to the mic.
We have site plans and map development. So if you like to see what's going to go up there, we can definitely share that with you.
Okay.
Yeah. And if you have any questions here, I'll be glad to answer that right now.
We're good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. It is. Oh, yes, ma'am.
Doris Diedrich, 2009 City View Street, Waterloo, Iowa, 5070. I just have one question. I would like to know, what is the process, or how do you determine which city-owned property is sold for $1?
Well, it is put in place. There has to be some level of development agreement, meaning that you have to put some level of taxable value back on that. And so if you get a property for $1, you say you're going to build a house, we give you that property for the $1, and in turn you create taxable value on that property as well. We've been working very hard to try to incentivize developers to build as well. So we have an infill policy that we work with as well. But any questions that you have regarding properties, if you want to develop or build a house or do anything, you can always feel free to reach out to our planning and zoning director. That guy in that green shirt that dared to put a green tie on the top of it, Noel Anderson, our community development director. I'm sorry, Rob, you got on green, and Kelly's got on green. I need to stop while I'm behind. What color are you? Thank you. But you can just contact the planning and zoning department, but you have to create some taxable value.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Greens for money.
Greens for money. Green Bay Packers. All right, anyone else with any questions? Somebody want to close and approve oral
Yes, ma'am.
comments? Yep, sir.
I'd like to make a motion to close the hearing and receive and file oral comments.
Second.
That motion has been made with the second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The hearing is now closed.
Mr. Mayor,
Sir?
I'd like to adopt a resolution authorizing the sale and conveyance of city-owned property located near 919 and 918 Newell Street in the amount of $5,000 for each property to Delatan Asset Acquisition LLC, and authorizing the mayor and city clerk to execute said documents.
Second.
That motion has been made with the second. Council questions, comments?
Mr. Mayor,
Sir?
do we have an approximate assessed value that these are aiming for?
Mr. Anderson?
Noel Anderson, Community Planning Development Director. if we had a minimum assessed value on, a lot of times we don't put it on housing, it's harder to kind of know exactly where the market's at, and of course, you're gonna have a little bit of a variation there. So I don't know if Mr. Salas has an idea for what target he might be looking to sell for the sale price of the houses.
You have to come to the podium.
Average home price is gonna be anywhere between 170 and 270,000 per home, single family.
Mr. Mayor,
Sir?
are we going to be using any CDBG or home funds for this?
I'm not sure. Rudy's not here. Do you want to?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
That's
mean,
one-
Mr. Jones has been in on the discussions. Obviously, if we can, we will.
Okay.
We'll look at that option as based on the price meeting the HUD standards. I think it was at 255 or below, so we can definitely look at that as an option.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, he made a presentation to community development some time ago with his vision for his area. And so, we'll start here, and then from there, we'll see. I think he is interested in doing even more, but we started right here in the meantime. And so Rudy was at the table as well.
Perfect. Well, thank you.
All right. Council, anyone else? Madam Clerk, roll call vote.
Mr. Bozen?
Yes.
Mr. Nichols?
Yes.
Ms. Creighton Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Childs?
Yes.
Mr. Simon?
Yes.
Ms. Wilder?
Yes.
Mr. Foyce?
Yes. Mr. Mayor,
Thank you, sir.
I'd like to adopt a resolution approving a development agreement with Delatan Asset Acquisition LLC for the construction of up to 12 new residential units and authorizing the mayor and city clerk to execute said document.
Second.
The motion has been made with the second. Madam Clerk?
Mr. Bozen?
Yes.
Mr. Nichols?
Yes.
Ms. Creighton Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Childs?
Yes.
Mr. Simon?
Yes.
Ms. Wilder?
Yes.
Mr. Foyce?
Yes.
All right, thank you. Could someone take resolutions 1 through 3?
Mr. Mayor,
Sir?
I'd like to adopt a resolution approving construction plans for grading, paving, utilities serving the Prairie Meadow Estates First Edition as submitted by Schneider and Associates Incorporated, sewage treatment agreement, DNR Form 29, November 00, with the Department of Natural Resources, and final acceptance of construction plans subject to review and acceptance by the Department of Natural Resources, and authorizing the mayor to execute said documents. Number 2 is a resolution approving a right-of-way lease agreement with Waterloo Fiber for the placement of utilities within the right-of-way and authorizing the mayor and city clerk to execute said documents. And number 3 is a resolution approving a permanent easement agreement with McDonald's USA LLC to allow roadway maintenance and private property located at 2222 Logan Avenue in conjunction with the North Crossing redevelopment, and authorizing the mayor and city clerk to execute said document.
Second.
That motion has been made with the second. Is there anyone with questions on resolutions 1 through 3? Council?
Mr. Mayor,
Sir?
could we have a representative from Waterloo Fiber just give us an overview on number 2?
Who
Ian?
wants to know?
All right, Randy.
Randy?
Okay.
Yeah, Randy Bennett, Public Works Division Manager. So all fiber utilities, whether public or private, actually have to submit for a permit to be able to have utilities in the right-of-way. So that's what this is pertaining to for all of Waterloo Fiber.
And it sets a rate for this.
Yep.
Okay, so
And that's done through engineering.
and so we did this with
The competition?
our competition, MetroNet.
Yep.
Did that come before council too? Because I don't remember this having a 9-page agreement come before council that set the dollar amount per square, or cents per square foot, or for linear foot and that stuff.
They'll come to council.
It did? I don't, okay, my bad.
Yeah, it's all standard, and I don't want to speak for, but it's all standard through engineering for anyone that does utility work in the right-of-way. They have to submit for that.
Okay.
It is not our competition, it's Waterloo Fiber's competition.
That is exactly, that was my bad. And I'm not gonna ask any proprietary questions tonight, so I'm gonna stay away from that. Thank you, Randy.
All right. Anyone else? Madam Clerk, 1 through 3?
Mr. Bozen?
Yes.
Mr. Nichols?
Yes.
Ms. Creighton Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Childs?
Yes.
Mr. Simon?
Yes.
Ms. Wilder?
Yes.
Mr. Foyce?
Yes.
Thank you. 4, 5, and 6.
Mr. Mayor,
Sir?
I'd like to adopt the following resolutions. First is a resolution approving a development agreement with Iowa Heartland Habitat for Humanity for the construction of a new home at 222 Randall Street including a $5,000 infill incentive and demolition of the existing structure, and authorizing the mayor and city clerk to execute said document. Number 5, a resolution approving an amendment. Number 4, to the professional services agreement originally executed December 8th, 2022 with Strand Associates, Inc. of Madison, Wisconsin for design bidding related services in the amount of $10,000 in conjunction with the wastewater treatment plant third-party renewable gas project, and authorizing the mayor to execute said document. And finally, we have number 6, a resolution approving an as-built contract with Entrust Solutions Group of Warrenville, Illinois, in the amount of $479,274.20 in conjunction with the fiber optic network project, and authorizing the mayor and city clerk to execute said document.
Second.
That motion has been made with the second. I think we have a question.
David Jar, 3145 West 4th Street. Number 5, I guess the question is why? Why do we need a $10,000 increase? Has there been changes in the proposal, or why do we need more, why do they need more money?
Randy Bennett, Public Works Division Manager. So when we originally went out for the proposal, it was for biogas, not only at the wastewater plant, but it was also for out at the lagoon. The good news is we did end up moving forward with out at the wastewater plant. So the agreement has been executed with that. And as we're into the process of having that built, we're getting some outside guidance from the same council or the same engineering firm while that's being built, just to make sure that the integration between what is the cities and what is going to be theirs is executed correctly. But the good news is it's moving forward, and once this is done, the city will start receiving royalties from the gas that's produced.
I hope so, because I remember back in the day when I was still doing that kind of work, they were using their own biogas at the waste plant. Everybody says, no, that's not true. But now we're gonna do it. Hey, fantastic. I guess I'm not the stupid one. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Council questions 4, 5, and 6. Madam Clerk,
Mr. Mayor.
roll call.
Mr. Bozen?
Wait,
Yes.
we got one question.
Sorry.
Not a question. Just want to express more appreciation for Habitat 4222 Randall Street. Just, I'm so happy to see that particular building being taken care of. So just great job,
Absolutely.
Habitat.
Incredible
Humanity.
work. And part of the reason why we received the Thriving Communities Award as well. Madam Clerk.
Mr. Bozen?
Yes.
Mr. Nichols?
Yes.
Ms. Creighton-Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Childs?
Yes.
Mr. Simon?
Yes on 4 and 5 and no on 6.
Okay. Ms. Wilder?
Yes.
And Mr. Foyce?
Yes.
All right, thank you. Could someone take 7 through 10?
Mr. Mayor.
Sir?
I'd like to make a motion to adopt a resolution approving a design agreement with Entrust Solutions Group of Warrenville, Illinois, in the amount of $48,300 in conjunction with the fiber optic network project, and authorizing the mayor and city clerk to execute said document. A resolution approving a sales agreement with Daktronics of Brookings, South Dakota, in the amount of $294,500 in conjunction with the convention center outside signage project, and authorizing the mayor to execute said document. Motion to approve resolution approving the program member agreement with U.S. Bank for the purpose of making available a corporate card, purchase card, and/or one card program, and authorizing the mayor to execute said document. And a resolution of the city of Waterloo authorizing official banking signatures.
Second.
The motion has been made with the second. Questions, anyone? Council?
Mr. Mayor?
Sir?
Number 8, this is additional money to the convention center's original remodel.
Yep.
And then is this from the notes I received, is this signage on the outside with like a big display board with upcoming events and stuff like that? Is that correct?
Yes, sir. Bridget?
I think that's how I understood it, but I want to make sure.
Bridget Wood, Finance Director. So the signage is for the ribbon that'll go above, if they would pull the picture back up, it'll go above the entrance on one side, and then on the another side of the building, there'll be another display along with the lettering. It'll be on the outside there. I believe that's on, what street is that on? Is that on Park?
Yeah, is that on all four corners, two corners?
This is on one corner, and then that one would go on two corners.
Very
And that
nice.
would be a solid ribbon of display versus two screens put together.
Very nice. Thank you.
Is there one more piece that after this though that we need to?
Yeah. This part is only for those, the ribbon and the one side, and then the lettering that's on the top there. That'll go on two sides of the building. There's an example of what the lettering would be like.
A little bit easier to read on the building.
Yeah.
Thank you. And I think there's one more. Is there one more piece? So just to let, we had to split it up cost-wise. All right. Council, Madam Clerk.
Mr. Bozen?
Yes.
Mr. Nichols?
Yes.
Ms. Creighton Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Childs?
Yes.
Mr. Simon?
No on 7 and yes on 8, 9, and 10.
All right.
And Ms. Wilder?
Yes.
And Mr. Foyce?
Yes.
All right. Thank you so much.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to move to closed session on purchase of real estate pursuant to Iowa Code Section 21.51J.
Second.
A motion has been made with the second. Mr. Attorney, are we doing this correctly? He says, yes, Your Honor. All right, Madam Clerk, roll call vote for the first one.
Mr. Bozen?
Yes.
Mr. Nichols?
Yes.
Ms. Creighton Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Childs?
Yes.
Mr. Simon?
Yes.
Ms. Wilder?
Yes.
Mr. Foyce?
Yes.
All right, thank you.